I'm gonna jump on to the Clayface trailer. So I'm gonna share my screen. Give
Wait,
me a minute.
I'm just gonna tell
Yeah.
you right now, the Clayface trailer that honestly surprised me because that feels different. Formula it doesn't feel like the same thing you would see. Like I'm glad they're not trying to do it Venom. Like a Venom situation where he's an anti-hero. He's gonna go save the day. I'm like, this feels like DC actually understands they're villains. They're not anti-heroes. Unlike Sony, which keeps making them. Oh, we're gonna have the Green Goblin movie, and we're gonna make him the anti-hero, and the Hobgoblin's gonna be the main villain. It's like, what?
Yeah, so the story for the Clayface trailer, the horror film, which is directed by James Watkins, which, if in case you don't know who he is, he's the man who gave us Speak No Evil remake, that came out a couple of years ago with James McAvoy, which I really enjoyed. Will track the origins of the shape-shifting villain played by Tom Reese Harris. Clayface, who starts as a struggling actor, Matt Hagen, receives a highly experimental medical procedure after his face is disfigured in a knife attack. Although the experiment is successful at first, things ultimately don't go as planned, as the actor's body turns into clay that reshapes itself into anyone's appearance. I mean, I will say, when I watched that trailer, it was so good. I loved it. I thought, even though they don't show us too much, but it felt like a body horror film. It felt like a little bit of the mixture of the
The
substance meets
substance.
Darkman. It kind of felt like that. And even James Gunn said a while ago that every DC movie is going to feel different. It's total diversity. And this movie is supposed to be taking place way before any of the events of the DC movies and shows, like Superman, Supergirl, for instance. So that this is basically just going to be more of a standalone. And from what I've heard, it was supposed to be confirmed that this is supposed to be the same Clayface character that we met in Creature Commandos.
Which
And
is
I thought
ridiculous.
I thought it was a different Clayface at
I
first.
propose Laszlo Carlo because this dude's literally goes on the white on Creature Command, writes on a chalkboard. What does Wonder Woman and Themyscira have in common? They're all lesbians, scissor sisters. Woohoo! And you're just like, what the fuck am I watching? Clayface is just a misogynistic asshole, and Creature Commandos just spends all the girls, kills that woman, spends all her money on credit card, on porn, and Xbox. And I'm just like, in what world is that like going to be canon? Like, let's see, like this is before he starts. I mean, I just think that I feel like that's a completely different character. It makes no sense how that could be the same character because it's like it's ridiculous. But I mean, Jeff, what did you think of the trailer?
I think the trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about with Creature Commandos, again,
Yeah.
because I'm a 42-year-old man. Sorry. And this movie looks, I don't know, like different from a lot of other comic book movies, which I think is the whole idea. I like the effects. I'm down for something different. But yeah, Creature Commandos, I'm good.
Yeah, with
Okay.
Ryan will be back in a second. But I will say this though, I love Clayface like the character, and I like that Mike Flanagan's writing this because this feels like, okay, like he says, based off of the Batman the Animated Series episode, and I like that this is a horror film. This is not like a superhero, like as James Gunn said. No, this is a horror movie. Like this is absolutely that, and I like that because I think DC needs to reinvent itself every now and then. Like we have like the Supergirls, the Supermans of the world. We want different. Like I think that's the one thing a lot of people misunderstand about, just because they're comic books doesn't mean it's all have to be the same generic story of a hero that gets powers and has to defeat the villain. Right. It can be a horror film. It can be a comedy. It can be this or that.
Yeah,
and
pick up any particular
look at
DC
Joker, the first Joker movie. I mean,
that fits in the tone of the characters itself.
Yeah. Look at the first Joker movie. I mean, like that movie, the Joker's not the hero of that movie. He's a villain. Okay, he goes and like just blows Robert De Niro's head off because he's like, "Oh, you insulted me," blows him head off. That's not a hero, and I think that's what's so great about the first Joker movie. Obviously, they fucked it up with the second one, but like the first one was fantastic. And also look at Penguin. Okay, Penguin is a villain. Like he's not a hero, and I like that they try to like DC. I feel like understands these are villains. These are not heroes. We're not trying to make them anti-heroes. They are serial killers and monsters. We are not here to like glamorize them, and I think that's what I like about it, or I mean, not but not. Which Ryan, what did you think of the trailer?
The trailer was awesome. I mean, and I appreciate, and I think this may have been brought up while I was having my internet issues. I'm sorry about that. But I love how Mike Flanagan basically just said, this is a body horror film. This is a horror film. I like the energy of that. They're treating Clayface like Clayface, and so I immediately like the tone. I like the style. Like this sold me like just right off the bat.
Yeah, it's so great that they had Mike Flanagan to pitch the idea of this movie that he did it, and he originally wanted to direct the film, but he had scheduling conflicts, so he couldn't be able to come in and do it. And they brought in Hazan Amini. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. They had a different writer to come in and to do some of the rewrites.
Page one rewrite.
Yeah, page one rewrite of the script.
Which, Jeff, in Hollywood, what does a page one rewrite specifically mean?
It's like you're basically rewriting the whole script. Like a page one rewrite means it needs to be written from top to bottom. You're not coming in to rewrite the female lead and make her stronger, beef up a role because you got a bigger actress than you were expecting. It's not, I need a script doctor to come in and fix this third act because we can't, the third act isn't working. A page one rewrite just means like from the top down. So, when people, Flanagan, yes, he wrote the first draft and everything, but I don't know that this is really going to bear the fingerprints of him necessarily.
Had he stayed on, he probably would be like his entire script. But he had to go direct The Exorcist SVU. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm not the biggest Flanagan guy, but again, I think this looks really cool. I think James Watkins knows what he's doing. And I trust in James Gunn, we trust, as they say.
For sure.
Which you don't like Mike Flanagan's Dr. Sleep?
No.
Oh, I thought you would like that because you're like, it's The Shining. He's got that the Overlook Hotel at the end. And
guys, The Shining and Dr. Sleep. What are we doing here?
I mean, it's like you got at the end of the third act, and he goes back to the Overlook, and you get that experience. Only thing is, I will say, I would not have recasted Jack Nicholson. I would have just had a DH or like a CG Jack Nicholson double. Because I'm like, why would you recast? Because everyone knows that's not Shelley Duvall.
I personally am against the whole de-aging. I prefer just get an actor and just recast the younger character. That way,
if you do it right, if you don't do like what Robert De Niro did and what's that one movie he did though?
The Irishman.
The Irishman, yeah.
Don't do that. Dude, the aging was fucking terrible. Dude, watch that comparison on that YouTube channel. They did a deep fake version. That looks better than the movie that we watched. I was like, ugh.
I just feel like, why can't we use AI for that? Okay, the AI would be perfect for just to de-age people because that would look much better.
One they did great with the AI. Spoiler alert: if you have not watched Ted season 2, there's a young Bill Clinton. And Seth MacFarlane played young Bill Clinton, and he did the AI. It looks great. Yeah. And he said, hey, the CGI is not going to work, or the prosthetics is not going to work. There's no way in hell they were going to knock it out of the park with that.
I mean, I'm waiting for Universal to go back to D8 to re-CGI The Rock in The Mummy Returns and make him look an actual like The Rock and not like a PS1 video game character. But that's our thoughts on Clayface.